As an artist, how do you convey emotion through your artwork? The easiest part will always be choosing the emotion. But for instance, you can choose pure bliss, or you can choose loss and heartbreak. But how do we take these descriptive words and morph them into a visual medium? Intentions. Now, I could be wrong. Your intentions could be different than what I think they are. You could be trying to make artwork for someone to make them smile, or this could be profit-based and you want to make art commissions. With either of those possible intentions, that could also be ideas for any viewers that aren't sure. But after you figure out your intentions, then you can move on to composition. Dynamic posing, different lighting, how you render the art piece. These various attributes can all contribute to what you want to create and the final product that you are striving for. So for instance, if you want to convey happiness, people will usually and stereotypically suggest to draw a smile, a grin, laughing. But let's say you're creating commission artwork for a client. There is no reason to feel bad about asking why the character is happy. Because if we take the sole emotion of happiness, but we add in a storyline or a moment, and just solely asking the creator of this character, the person who's requesting the artwork, with their OC or a character from a show. And this is also helpful in the sense of if someone makes an OC, you don't know the full story, or if there's a show with a character that you're not completely up to date on. Once you understand the world building, the character creating, the scene setting, after all of those pieces fall into place, the composition will be so much easier to execute. So if someone tells you, I want my character to look happy, I want them to have a big smile, and you're thinking, oh, well maybe something good happened to this character, maybe they accomplished something. But in the client's head, they were hoping for more of like hopeful or reminiscent or having a further emotion on top of the happiness. So if you're making artwork for a friend, if you're making it for a family member, a client who wants a commission, make sure to communicate as much as possible. But also with composition, you can use the setting or background, you can use shading, shadows, highlights, using different brushes, even changing the medium of how you're making the artwork. You can go traditional, you can start using acrylic paint. You can make the artwork however you please as long as it's up to your standards and based on whoever is going to receive the artwork. It could be a second party or it could just be for yourself. But playing as a speed paint in this video is an art piece I made of me and my boyfriend. So to convey that these two people are in a relationship, I chose this specific posing, but also with the trend of I love my boyfriend, I love my girlfriend on t-shirts and sweaters with that specific logo, which could be seen as very obvious and very blatant with this is a couple piece. But outside of that and using logos in my artwork, I usually just draw and use posing. I use different facial expressions. I convey things with the backgrounds, the colors, all of the patterns, and putting different brushes together. But I've also made characters or original characters that are fictional and that are purely creative and not actual people. I've made an ogre and a princess. I've made like a monstrous butler who falls in love with a skeleton tailor. I made a spiritual witch who fell in love with a retired pirate. Because personally, character creating has always given me life and inspiration and all these good feelings, but it also gives a good clutch with examples and conveying different ways to create characters, but also to convey emotion through them. So hopefully with your artwork or your assignment or your commission for someone or your art piece for a family member or a friend, I would completely suggest find your intention. Who are you creating the artwork for and what do you want them to feel? Or differently through a commission, they could be very specific and tell you how dynamic they want the facial expression to be and what to be conveyed. But after you figure out the intentions and you think of it logically and you plan everything out, please have fun with it. Please run with ideas. Please let your mind flow with creativity, spill out of your brain, especially with how the art field is now and how companies are trying to bring down artists and not pay them and to make them feel weak and lost and like they should give up. But please, dearies and doll faces, hold on to your creativity. Create what you want to. Everyone will smile, everyone will love it, and I know that I will. If you'd like to, you can join my Ko-fi from the link below, and you can also leave your artwork within my community. Thank you for watching, dearies and doll faces. Mwah!